Dr. Masha, naturopathic doctor and hyperbaric expert. Today we'll talk about endocrine-disrupting chemicals, chemicals that affect our hormonal system, specifically about Bisphenol A, and we'll learn how to minimize its negative impact on human body. Please subscribe to my channel below to receive new videos about women's health, infertility, and hormones every week. Bisphenol A, BPA, is a common chemical that affects natural hormone functions. It was invented at the end of the 19th century and initially was invented for the use of artificial estrogen because it strongly mimicked the effect of estrogen in the body. Bisphenol A has the ability to interact with estrogen receptors and stimulate estrogen production. Exposure to BPA can cause all sorts of hormonal problems such as endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, infertility. It can impair ovarian reserve, so capacity of the ovary to produce egg cells that are capable of fertilization. It increases inflammation in the body and it crosses placental barrier, so it affects the fetus. BPA exposure negatively affects IVF outcomes. It stimulates obesity and it can increase likelihood of Alzheimer's, childhood asthma, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Any level of exposure can cause endocrine or reproductive abnormalities. Several reports show that BPA negatively affects health even at very low doses. So where is BPA found? First of all, it's found in plastic bottles. Those bottles that you drink water from, they most likely contain BPA. The second source is cash receipts. Every time you touch a cash receipt, you're being exposed to BPA. It's also in the tinned cans and in the dust. That's why it's important to open your windows and make sure there is a flow of air in the room. So what can we do about it? Well, we can do two things. First, we can reduce the exposure to BPA, and secondly, we can help our bodies to detoxify. And in the second half of this video, I will explain how to do that. Subscribe to my channel below to learn more about women's health, infertility, hormonal health, and receive new videos every week. So to reduce the exposure, change your plastic bottles to glass bottles. Install a water filter at home and start using water from the water filter instead of buying it in plastic bottles. For the cash receipts, ask at the register for the receipt to be emailed rather than printed. It will help save the paper, but most importantly, it will reduce your exposure to BPA. Open windows to make sure that you clean your rooms at least 2-3 times a week to make sure that no dust in the room. Just buy your food in glass containers rather than tins and plastic. Not every plastic bottle has BPA. Well, first of all, it can be marked BPA free. Or you can look at the bottom of the bottle. It usually has a number from 1 to 7. Numbers 7 and 3 are associated with BPA. So if it's marked 4 or 1 or 5, most likely it doesn't contain BPA. Check your cosmetics if they contain BPA. BPA has the ability to interact with estrogen receptor in the body, and that's how it contributes to the development of the diseases like endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you're someone who suffers from these diseases, you should look very closely at eliminating BPA from your environment. We are constantly being exposed to BPA, and even though we can switch from plastic to glass and don't take cash receipts and don't use plastic containers, clean the floors to make sure the dust doesn't accumulate, we're still being exposed to BPA because, this is the environment we live in, and it's not possible to change, unfortunately, in the 21st century. So another thing we can do, we can help our bodies to detoxify from the BPA we're being exposed to. The process in the body that's responsible for BPA detoxification is called glucuronidation, and it occurs in the gut and in the liver. There are very simple strategies to enhance this detoxification process. First is cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, all kinds of cabbages help enhance the activity of the enzyme that's responsible for BPA detoxification. Eat foods that provide D-glucaric acid to help with glucuronidation and the removal of BPA from your body, such as mung and aduki beans, strawberries, oranges, alpha sprouts, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, as I said, and broccoli. For optimal sensing, detoxification, and elimination of BPA, we need adequate amount of vitamin A. To summarize what we learned today, BPA is an endocrine-disrupting chemical and it affects our hormonal health. It becomes a problem in conditions like endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, infertility, and obesity. And the way to deal with it is decrease exposure by switching from plastic to glass and looking at the cosmetics, whether it contains BPA or not, and also improving the detoxification process. And there are certain whole foods that can be helpful with that. Vegetables from Brassica family, but also foods containing vitamin A. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for listening. Stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.